Hey, 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 hey. Hey guys, how you doing? I hope you're doing just fine. Why I can't find the stream? What the? Miss Soapify. Hey yeah. Will this be available? Yeah, of course it will be available to be watched later. Most of the time, or even all the time, I don't erase or delete my videos. If it is awkward enough, I just delete it. If not, I just go for it. Hey, hey, Boomy. Hey, hey, hey. Hope you all doing just fine. You are welcome anytime, miss. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, okay, okay. So, do we need to start right now? Okay, okay, okay. A bit low in volume. I don't know for real. Maybe my voice is just. I don't know, I use a bat mic. That's all. I don't have a good mic, I just use the phone mic. When I record like a video or something, I just use my smartphone voice recorder and I just, adjust it, like enhance it and so on. But for this one, I just use the the headphones. That's why. So, is it still like low? Thank you so much. Okay, cool, cool. That is cool. Mm. Hey, oh my god, I can't pronounce the name. I'm so sorry. Ama, Amanaguwash? Amano, Amanuga? Wak or Wash? Amanugawak. I don't know, but hi. Okay, okay, since you are here right now, guys, let's start. Okay, first of all, as you'll see, I'm using Clip Studio Paint. Okay, guys, and if you people are going to ask if it is better than Photoshop or IPS Paint and so on, I used Photoshop and also used Clip Studio Paint. So I feel like, yeah, yeah, Boomy. I can't actually. Sometimes I don't know how to pronounce the names, but I'm still. It is a pleasure having you here, guys. Okay, okay. So the difference between Photoshop and Clip Studio Paint is, for me, I don't have like a fave. So I used to use Photoshop, but now I use Clip Studio Paint for no reasons. I just experiment. Okay, this one is called, if we go in here like the pen, this one is called textured pen. Okay, and I use the pen pressure. Also, the stabilization is too low. Why is just to make it loose so I can go fast while drawing. Okay, guys, so what the pen pressure actually is used for, if you press hard, it will be like the full color, like opaque. If you press kinda soft, it will, I don't know, it will change like the values from dark to bright. Also, pressing hard make the size bigger. Pressing like softly, it will make the size smaller or thinner. Okay, guys, and that's how you control your line art. And believe me, guys, I don't have too much like tips or tricks to help you to get like a fine line art, but it just gets better by practicing. Cool. The second it clicks and you know how to, I don't know, how to control your pen pressure, everything just going just fine. Let's see. Does Photoshop feel different? I only use clips, so I haven't tried Photoshop. Actually, it is not. At least for me, it is not different. It's subscription, and the only reason I used it because my school offers it for basically free. But if you want a more permanent drawing application, yeah, yeah. One of the reasons I didn't want to pay any money while while drawing. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Why I have these two poses, like the front one, okay, and the profile one. Does anyone have the answer? If not, I'm going to tell you. Okay, I use the profile one to show you how the body is balanced, and why that I'll tell you right now. First of all, we have the head right here. Okay, see the neck, the rib cage, the pelvis, the thigh, and the leg. What is that? That's actually how the body is balanced. It works as a zigzag. The body parts works as a zigzag. So how that going to help while drawing, while applying perspective? Okay, guys. First of all, you need to know that the nature of the rib cage and pelvis is actually going this way. And how is that? So if I'm drawing like a head, the neck, this is like the rib cage, and this is the pelvis connected by a spine. So how do you see how the rib cage actually works? References as well as a good measurement for both side view and front. Yeah, it is, but the actually my reason here is to show that the rib cage is kinda tilted to the back from here and to the front from here. So you're gonna see this lower part in nature, okay? So it is actually created this way. God created it this way. Cool. How to draw some poses, it will be awesome. Sure, sure. I'm going to show another pose like a three-quarter one. Okay, my favorite. Okay, so so the rib cage, we can see this lower part of it, and the pelvis is tilted to the front from the top here and to the back from here. So the pelvis, we can see the upper part of it. Okay, and as you see, the body is actually standing. The body is standing. So some people while drawing, they don't notice how to draw the box or how to draw the rib cage, and thinking that since I'm seeing the lower part of it, that means the body is tilted like backwards, or the body is tilted to the front. You are welcome to the front, but actually it is how it is. This is how God created the body. Okay, so this is the zigzag in order to make the body balance it. So guys, if I'm going to draw like a box, it just, you have to we have to make this clear as possible. Okay, so let's go for a I've already done this pose, but I'm gonna draw it again for you. Okay, so let's say we have this frontal view. Okay, now we know that we have this body. I just show it that the pelvis and the rib cage are already in nature tilted. So if I'm going to draw like a rib cage right here, I'm sorry, the rib cage right here, you need to know guys that it is already tilted to the back. The body is already tilted to the back as you see here. Okay, so I'm seeing this lower part of the rib cage. Okay, I'm seeing the lower part of the rib cage. Okay, and if I'm going to draw like the pelvis, I'm already seeing the upper part as I have showed you right here. Okay guys, so even if we are drawing the body from a frontal view, we're already seeing the lower part of the rib cage and the upper part of the pelvis. Okay guys, and that will help a lot while drawing boxes. And Boomy asked me while we chatting on Discord if I'm going to draw boxes too, and actually as I said and as I answered for him, I don't usually draw the body in boxes. Okay, I just go like in a gestural way. Boxes, I'm just drawing boxes for the sake of teaching, so you can know how perspective works. Okay, so if I'm going to draw this body as a box, someone is going to say the body is like in dead front, so I'm not going to draw a box. I'm going to only see this these rectangles. Okay, you can actually draw these rectangles while drawing. So if I'm drawing like a rectangle right here representing the rib cage, and also if I'm going to draw like another rectangle for the pelvis, I can start from here and draw the body. Okay, I can start from here and also draw the body if you want to. These are just like guideline shapes for you to start drawing. Yeah, but I'll struggle with the perspective and the distance vanished point line and as well as done. Okay, squishy. You just don't need to measure everything. Okay, you just don't need to measure everything. Cool, that's it. So, if I'm going to draw this box, The first thing you need to know, if I'm going for a frontal view, so you need to know that I only have a, I'm talking about the one point perspective. Okay, so this is like the vanishing point, guys. Okay, so if I'm going to draw like these lines, and you need to know these lines are kinda like just illusion, they are not just there. Okay, if we're going to draw like a box in perspective, and we see the lower part of it, the lower part of it, if I'm going to draw the same box but below the horizon line, so it is going, we're going to see the upper part of the box. And do you know what that is, guys? It is the body shapes, the rib cage and the pelvis in the standing pose, guys. I'll act like this is like the horizon line, and this is the pelvis, guys. This is going this way, and the box continues like this. So if you're going to see this box from the profile view, is going to be this way, and the pelvis is going to be that way, guys. Okay, that way, and they are attached with the spine. Cool, guys. That is why we draw boxes, just to show, okay, how perspective affects. And you don't need perspective that much while drawing a human body from the profile view or the frontal view. Cool. So you can consider the rib cage as, again, the rib cage is kind of tilted to the back, so it is a one point perspective in nature, guys. So if she is actually tilted even more, so you're going to see more of the lower part of the rib cage. Okay, and that's all. The frontal view is not that hard to draw, but we, when we see like something like this, thank you, Squishy, when we see like a pose like this, we just get like sucked into the anatomy stuff and so on. But what actually cool about it, like this frontal view, is we can use the symmetrical tool. Sometimes struggle drawing from pose a bit more since it is a bit symmetrical. Yeah, after practice that. No, you just need to use this symmetrical, I don't know, this symmetric tool. It actually helps, but you ask it before. Yeah, the angles. You ask it before if I use boxes to attach the body parts to each other, and I'm going to show you like something even better. Okay, let's just make it a little bit clear so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, if I'm going this, for guys, I'm going to draw right now like the neck. Okay, and what I'm doing is just, I'm not that good when it comes to anatomy, so you need to know that. And why I draw this part, why I showed the upper part of the neck, again, cause the neck is going this way, guys. So I'm already seeing the upper part, the neck is tilted forward, so I'm seeing this part of it. Okay, so there are like two tendons of the neck. They come from like below the ears. It actually wraps around like the neck. Okay, so if I'm drawing the neck like, and here is the ears, it is kinda like wrapping around it and meeting the other one. Okay, and that's all. I don't care about all the other stuff. Okay, guys, I just only care about these two things right here, and then don't like this. That's all. Sometimes you can add like the shape of the Adam's apple. And then, guys, I draw a line to determine the collarbone. Okay, but the collarbone itself, it looks like this. Okay, like a handle of the bicycle. Okay, it looks like the handle of a bicycle. And the shoulder, I'm just making an indication of the shoulder as a sphere. So neck you don't see top because it is below the horizon. Nope. You see because it is tilted forward. Yeah. That's why you show side. Yeah. That's handy. I know. I told you. I told you. Okay. So now we draw the traps. So guys, do you see what I'm doing? I don't even know where the traps actually attach to the collarbones, all the shoulder blades or whatever. I'm just going for what I feel looks good and that's it. Okay? But what I know is simple things like again, if I'm drawing the rib cage like this, okay? Like this, I know that this is like a hole and the neck attached to it this way. Okay, so if I have the neck right here, I have also the rib cage right here, and this is like the hole I'm talking about. Okay, so as you see here, the rib cage is already defined. Okay, and if I'm drawing this shoulder like spheres, I feel like I see like kinda it is attached right like this. Okay, this is like an indication for the shoulder blades from the back, but you don't need to draw that if you don't want to, but it just helps. I just draw stick figures, guys, and if you ask me where this starts or where this ends, there are like Andrew Loomis have actually discussed that before. Okay, so if it is like a the head is kinda, I don't know, 8, if we're going to draw the body like 8 heads and so on, you can measure the proportion and so on. I just don't do that. I'm sorry. Okay, I just go for what I see. If you wanna go for the proportions, like you can actually study whatever you wanna study. If you wanna be like so good in anatomy, I'm not that good when it comes to anatomy, but I know how to make it looks good, and that's all. Okay, guys. So again, as I said, we have this rib cage and they're going to meet right here. Okay, so you're going to ask, what is the distance? What is this distance? I don't really know. For you guys, I don't know. I just go for it. That's all. I don't talk too much or I don't think too much about when or where it ends. Okay, it might be here, it might be here, I don't know. I just go for it. Okay, if I'm going to, how do you handle proportion when things are in different perspective? Again, I just eyeball things. I just know while drawing and studying, if I'm going to think about everything about proportions and so on, it will end up like, I don't know, it will end up messy. It will end up not in the right proportions. I just eyeball it. Since I draw a lot, I just eyeball it, okay? And you're gonna ask, okay, you eyeball it, but you already know that there is something wrong. I'm gonna answer, yeah, I know there is something wrong. Since I draw a lot, I draw human bodies like a lot, so I felt like there's something wrong. Okay, for beginners, it will help a lot to measure the proportions. but it is so hard to measure proportions while doing some poses like a standing, like a sitting pose, like a pose in action, like a foreshortened pose. And if you're gonna actually analyze that, it will take you so much time and effort, and you will not get it that much, like you will not get it always right. So artists, what art, you are welcome, but what artists do, they block the shapes, they block shapes. So if there is like a sitting pose or whatever, if I'm going, I don't know, see, I'll see you, I'll make you watch right now like this pose. I don't know what I even doing, okay? But I'm just doing, I don't know, like this, okay? Like a pose and the hands. This is like her chest. The head is going, I don't know, back. She's holding something, okay? And here's like a leg right here. So another leg, I don't know, right here. It seems like a good pose, okay? But there are lots of mistakes. I know this one is kinda foreshortened, but I don't know how much foreshortening should I put in this one, okay? So what people actually does is going for the reference, and they start to measure like the angles and the relationship between this part and this part, like drawing some like a rectangle or a triangle to determine like where the hand is related to this foot and so on. Okay, there are some people that actually can draw the pose perfectly and from imagination, and that's why, because they actually have draw like a lot, and they have this visual library. Don't overthink. If you need, trace the body length and draw the figure side. Why side go for it? Yeah, yes, squishy. No rules. That's it. But what I actually also know here, and Bumi was asking for this one. Bumi for. Okay, where is the abdominal part? It is attached from this landmark of the rib cage, as you see here. It is going down like this. This is like the abdominal part. Okay? So if I'm going to draw it like this, someone again going to ask me, why did you stop here? And I'm going to say, I don't really know. I know the measurements again. And when I continue drawing this body or this pose, I will try to figure out how the proportions work. Okay, I'll just try to figure out how proportions work. Okay, guys? Sometimes people draw like a triangle right here, attaching like the chest, drawing this heart shape, and so on. And for these, I don't know, for the breast right here, I feel like it is kinda going too high. So I'm just going to drop it right here. Is it right? Is it wrong? You're gonna find out while drawing the pose or the line art. Maybe it is not that low. Maybe it is kinda higher. Okay? Yeah, you don't have to be super accurate. That's why, yeah, just knowing the crotch is halfway is huge. Yeah. So if I'm having like this at the head and so on, and the crotch, I have this one, and also I have this one. So I'm just doing things easily, guys. Here's like the crotch, okay? And from here there are like lots of, I don't know, fat parts and so on. So is this a good pose? No. If you're going to see right here, this is too big. Okay, this is too big. And how did I know? I just eyeball it. I just feel like something is off. That's all. I feel like something is kind of wrong. Okay, so what I'm doing right here is going to, okay, do like the line art. So I just drop the opacity right here using like another layer. Don't zoom that much and don't stick to the details. Okay, I'm using this brush, which is the India ink, the brush pen, and stabilization at like 50%. So there's a lag, but it makes a smooth line, which helps a lot while drawing a line art. Okay guys, so if I'm going to draw like the pose again guys, and this is the neck, which is kinda um I have drawn it like kinda big or kinda long. So as you see guys, I'm not following strictly the underline sketch. Okay, I'm not following strictly the underline sketch guys. And why is that? This is the way I fix the proportions. This is the way I fix the proportions. So like when you ask it about the proportion, I just fix it while drawing. I fix proportions a lot till I get it right. And lots of observation and yeah, asking right questions. Yeah, you are right. Okay, so this is like the neck. I'm drawing this line to determine like the chest, which is, as I said, it is kinda low, but now it is not too low. Okay guys, that heart shaped, going out like this. Okay, it's kinda up in here, and again I feel like it is kinda high. So what to do? Just drop it a little bit. Now it feels kinda right. And if I'm going to show, yeah, I had to stick with this one. Okay, and then we draw an indication for the shoulders, like she's wearing like an armor. Okay, you don't have to draw it this way, you're just going for an indication, or you just follow the contour of the shoulder. Okay, it's not that much of an accurate thing, but it helps. Okay, 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 cool. And then the rib cage, which follows this, and from this part, which is the end of the rib cage, I drop those lines to indicate the abdominal part. Again, this is like a fat part, and then starting for the pelvis. Okay, I can't see what is underneath, but I'm trying my best to visualize that, because we have like the pubic bones right here, and those are kinda also a landmark. Okay, and I just follow that, guys, and I have to eyeball and also not seeing this underline sketch to know if I'm going like right or wrong. You're gonna ask what I'm doing. I just don't feel that fat part should be that straight. And why that? It's not about a good thing to do. Is it right or wrong? I just think it looks better that way. That's all. Okay, some shadows. And let's continue by drawing this way. And if you're going to ask why you're doing like these parts, it is because this is like a hip bone, so it makes like a dimple right here. That's why I'm drawing it this way. So it is like, if you are asking how to do it, so I'm going to draw like a rib cage, the fat part, okay, again a shape like she is wearing like a panty, and then the legs. This is the way to draw it, okay, but I'm just drawing it here to make it look a little bit, I don't know, sexier or something. As you see, I'm just using a little bit of details. Okay, and for this one I also know just some overlaps, guys, just small lines to draw, small lines to help me to draw, okay, not too much details, guys. Cool, and that's how we draw a standing pose. Again, if you notice something, I still feel that this part is kinda low. So what I'm doing is choosing this part and then go a little bit higher till I feel it looks right and proportionate. And that's it. And if you again going to ask me how I knew, it might be right, it might be wrong, guys. It might be right, it might be wrong. But what I'm actually sure about, it looks good. That's all. It looks good. But if you're going to measure it like accurately, if someone like a master see my work and judge my proportions, I'm pretty sure I won't be accepted in his art school. Okay, guys, that's it for this pose. And this one, I'm not going to draw this pose. Just I just wanted to show you how this affects the perspective and how perspective works and how the rib cage looks like and so on. Okay guys, also I'm not going to draw the features and so on. Okay guys, and for thank you Boomy. Now for the much more important part, okay, this one. Okay guys, what I said before, again what I said before, remember that the rib cage is tilted to the back, the pelvis is kinda tilted to the front. Okay guys, so if I'm going to draw the rib cage like this, the hole that have the neck, the rib cage, again I'm going to see the lower part of it. Cool guys, I'm going to see the lower part, and the rib cage itself, since it is a 3/4 view, so the center line is going kinda this way. The center line is not like this, okay, it is shifted like this. Why? Because it is a 3/4 view. So cool guys, it is also following the perspective, and I'm gonna show you how. And the pelvis again is tilted this way. Okay, so we're seeing the upper part and the lower part of the rib cage, the upper part of the pelvis and the lower part of the rib cage. And guys, you need to know, the second you see a 3/4 view pose, it is a 2-point perspective. And how is that? I know people know what is a 2-point perspective, but they don't know how to apply that to the human body. Again guys, it's not that accurate, but I'm just going for it. Okay, so if I have this box right here, so I'm seeing the lower part of it, and if I'm going for below the horizon line, so I'm seeing the upper part of it. Again guys, and what is this? This is the rib cage, and this is the pelvis guys. Cool. So if I'm doing the body like this is going to be, if I'm going to follow this line and this line, which is the shoulder line, okay, this shoulder line and the angle of the pelvis, it is going to show that it is a 2-point perspective box. Okay, and this pelvis is also a 2-point perspective box. Okay, so this is the horizon line guys, and that's how you draw a box from this pose. Cool. And let's say I'm going to draw this pose while drawing boxes or whatever. Let's try and indicate the head with an egg shape. Determine this line and this line. And again guys, if you're asking me the distance here, I just don't measure. I again eyeball it. It might be right, it might be wrong. Cool? But I fix that while drawing the line art from what I'm seeing. So if I'm drawing like a rib cage like this way, okay guys, attaching like the neck, cool, the pelvis, as you see it is so loose, so loose. The rib cage is kinda overlapping this shoulder because we can't see all of it. Okay, again, it is a three-quarter view. So if I'm going to draw again this body right here, this is like the box. See in the lower part of it, and this is the pelvis. Cool guys. When Boomy asked me about the hello Yeni, when Boomy asked me about how we can attach like this to this and this to this, and this is like the abdominal part. But if I'm drawing boxes like this, the abdominal part is not that wide, so it does not help me that much while drawing. Okay, that's why most of the time I don't do boxes, I just do this way. Okay, I'm just using like cylinders and spheres, it helps me like more. Okay, so I'm just drawing it like cylindrical and spheres. Okay, now we have the box, and now we have the cylinders and spheres. So what about me drawing how I actually done it? I actually do it. I don't use boxes or even use cylinders or spheres most of the time. Yeah, boomy. So what I'm actually doing is, again, the head determining the shoulder line and the pelvis line, and what I'm doing is just following a gesture, drawing a gesture, and that's all. I just go for this shape. This is the shape I go for while drawing, guys. And from here I start and continue drawing, determining whatever it needs to be determined to draw. And I just fix things while drawing. Again, it is too loose, guys, too loose. And how perspective affects also the cylinders. If I'm going to draw, I know that this leg is going forward and this one is going backward. So if I'm going to draw it, I have to show the lower part of it, okay? Because it is hitting towards the camera. So I'm going to see this lower part. And for this one, the leg, the left leg, it is going to be this way, okay? Because it actually going away, it is tilted to the back, this is tilted to the front, and if you are actually struggling, you will actually know that things are wrapping around the form. So as you can see here, the short is wrapping around the form, so it helps you to imagine or actually know the perspective how it works while drawing a cylinder. And for this one, it going the other way, so we have the shorts this way and going then this the other way. Okay, for the pelvis, as you see, since it is below the horizon line, so I'm going to see the shorts wrapping around the pelvis this way, because the pelvis is going to be like this if I'm going to draw it as a cylinder. So whatever I draw here, it is going to wrap around it. And as you see the rib cage, if I'm going to represent like the rib cage as a cylinder, so everything also will follow the wrap. Okay, follow the wrap, and I also know what the wrap looks like because of this part of the lower plane. I know it traps this way because I know that's how it looks. Okay, you kind of combine gesture while thinking of 3D and using your knowledge of having, yeah. If you actually watch it here, I kinda used a box, but not a full box. Draw, I already drew this one, and I have this in mind. Okay, I have this in mind. I drew the pelvis like this, cool, and I have this in mind. Okay, so I don't have to draw the box, or I don't have to draw the full sphere. I just, you know, determine the gesture and how it looks and go for it. Okay, so let's draw this pose and make it kinda, I don't know, let's exaggerate it a little bit. Why? Kinda tilting this to the back a little bit. Okay. Mm, Fixing this one, and then also trying to exaggerate the angle of this, but still following. So again, if I'm going to draw the body like the line art, this is what I actually need while drawing. This is what I actually need while drawing, guys. And that's for me while drawing. I just draw that shape. This shape I just drew it and then go for the details. But now, as you can see, I determined lots of things. The angle of the head is looking this way, body is looking that way. Okay, I'm going to draw like some overlaps, and I determined the proportions. Already have this rib cage right here, and so on. So if I'm going to draw the body, I'll just use again the brush, the India ink, the brush pen, and then go for it. Okay, let's see this part of the neck. Okay, the tendon we're talking about, this like the traps. I determine the collarbone, the other collarbone. Cool. The neck again, the traps. It's not about the anatomy stuff, guys. Again, I'm telling you, and I have already told you, I just go for it. Sometimes I copy, just copy, guys. If I don't know what I'm doing, sometimes I just copy. And every single time I draw the line art, I just hide the sketch to see what I'm doing. Okay, now let's determine the shape of the chest. Just an indication, and this line helps to separate the chest. Okay, this is kind of the rib cage right here. Okay, this is like the part of the rib cage, and then there's more of determining again the abdominal part where it ends. Say the belly button is here. Determine then those landmarks. And again, guys, I wanna tell you something. If if this leg is the one that she is leaning on, so it will be the part of the pelvis that is going higher, and this is rested. Cool, guys? So the leg that has the legs that actually the body is leaning on, it will tilt the hips, the hip bones. It will tilt the pelvis. So it is going to be the higher part of it is going to be this leg, the left leg, which is the one she's leaning on. Okay, the other one is kinda loose, it's kinda relaxed. Okay, so you have to also keep that in mind. Let's say the crotch is here. Again, guys, I'm not following the lower sketch, just eyeballing it till I feel like something is off. Okay, this is like the crotch, the leg. Cool, guys. And this is the part following, and that's it. So don't get frustrated. Okay, I already drew the pose. Let's see, here it go. So it is like the same as the one I just drew. Okay, guys, that's how it looks. I know it might be not as helpful, but I'm pretty sure it is going, you're gonna catch like a something or two. For this one, I just try to show you how the perspective affects drawing the human body. Okay, not just going for the perspective, not just going for like the anatomy stuff and so on. So you just keep that in mind. Okay, it was just to teach you guys why or how perspective affects. So if I'm going to deconstruct that, it is going to be again a box right here. Okay, the rib cage, the side of it might not be this way. Okay. The rib cage and the pelvis, guys. And this is the line. Okay. For the crotch. And as you see, I'll draw the leg this way and the other leg this way. Again, thanks follows around. So if I'm going to draw again the rib cage as an egg shape, it will wrap around. If I'm going to draw like as a box, it is going to be following the sides, following the perspective. So these are going to the vanishing point, and this one, these ones are also going to the vanishing point. I have the horizon line here, and they will just meet on the vanishing point, guys. Okay, okay, let's go. Cool, guys. Is there like any other question I should answer? It may be, I don't know, the internet connection might be so bad. Okay, okay. If you have any question, just tell me so I can answer. Okay, I feel like this is kinda needs to go this way a little bit. No, it is fine, we can hear you. Thank you. I thought it is just giving me an error that I don't know, the internet connection is not that good. Okay, are there any other things you think about that you haven't mentioned that is important for drawing the body? I have like millions of stuff that is going in my head. Okay, but the bigger shape, okay, the bigger shape, I'm looking for the big shapes, and also these little things which are the overlaps. The overlaps. I'm gonna show you why. I'm drawing at the same time. I'm just listening. That's cool, Yenny. What are these overlaps I'm talking about? Do you see like the one that makes the difference boomy while drawing? The ones that will make your drawing looks even cooler is the overlaps. Just try and snipping tool from imagination while listening as well. That's cool, Boomy. Let's see the overlaps. Watch this. Okay, watch this. Thank you, Boomy. Mousepad, yeah. Look at this. Look at this. And this. Overlapping. Okay? Look at this. And this. Overlapping also. Look at this. And this. Again. The overlaps. This. And this. Overlaps. Mm-hmm. Just small things. See? Small things that will make a huge difference while drawing. This is like the rib cage, and this the fat part. The rib cage and the fat part. The overlaps, guys. One thing I don't do when drawing the body are the small shapes. I don't know how to explain, like the lines are not straight. You shape the body, it has small switch. Yeah. And again, I'm talking about overlaps, overlaps, overlaps. It is so important to do the overlaps. It will make things cool. So cool. Just some overlaps, guys, and it feels like a body. Okay, like then this fat part and this a little bit of overlapping right here. How I know that? I just know it from observation. Know it from observation. Like the chest here overlapping. Okay, this part and these parts. Lots of overlaps that helps a lot while drawing, guys. This is like an overlap right here. I don't do you see this landmark? If you continue to draw it, this overlap, guys, and then this overlap, just following overlaps. And again, I got that from observation. It is not so live, Yenny, cause we just draw the outer part of it without drawing the overlaps, without thinking of overlapping. That's why it felt so dead. Okay, the overlaps. I'm already doing some overlaps right here. If you can see, like the rib cage, this overlapping, this one, this, the one from on the neck, and this one also. So you have to observe. You have to observe. And as you can see, guys, there are some parts that I'm using a thick line and others that I'm using a thin line. Everything like in here, you can go for thin lines, okay, but just add in some details like some shadows, okay, some ambient occlusion. If you actually draw some ambient occlusion, paint some ambient occlusion parts, it will affect your line art drastically. Younger, how do you observe the hair? Don't understand that at all. Yeah, it makes it look 3D. Do you know how to observe? Do you want to me to show you how I observe the head? First of all, let's say I'm going to choose a the head. I have a tutorial on the head, but again, I'll show you what I mean while I'm drawing the head. Again, for the body, I was talking about how the body is balanced, like the head is going this way and the rib cage, the pelvis, so it is going like a zigzag. For the head itself, you need to know also the profile view. If I'm going to draw the profile view this way, you need to know that the head is actually going, this is like the higher part of it. So it is going this way and then this way. Some people, when they draw the head, they just keep it this way, like this. And that's totally wrong. Okay? The head is not a straight line like this, it is going like this shape, doing like a triangle. So what is the benefit of knowing this while drawing the head from the front view? Okay, the front view I'm drawing like this head right here. So now if I'm going to determine the eyes or the eyebrows, the nose and the mouth line and the hairline. Okay, you need to know if this is the hairline. Some people just draw the hairline and stop here. Okay, but they need to draw the head, the hair going this way. So if I'm going to draw the hair, I'm going to use this line. If I'm going to see, this is like the eyebrows. Okay, let's say it traps here, and I'm to follow going to follow the shape of the head. It is about following the shape of the head. Okay, so if I'm going to draw the hair on this profile view like this, I'm going to follow the shape of the head. What makes it look off for you is you're going this way, this one, like the head is kinda flat from above, but it's not. So if you're going like for a flat surface, you're going to draw the head like this. Okay, so that's why it makes it looks flat, cause you don't know that bump right here. Okay, Boomy, have a good night. Thank you so much, man. Okay, so for the head again, you gotta determine the shape of the head first. The skull is again, if I'm drawing a skull from a profile view, it will look this way. So I have this. Okay, and the head is going like this. You gotta put on your mind and in consideration the shape of the top of the head. Okay, if I'm going to draw like the same skull, but I'm not going to follow this, going to do it like this, and then we're going to draw like the hair, it will look off. But for this one, it won't look off, it will look right. Okay, so if I'm going to see like the head from the front view, you gotta keep in mind that this head, whatever you see in here, is not this part, it is this part. So it is actually, there is like a big distance between this part and this part. So we tend to make the hair too short because we think that the head ends right here, but the head actually continues, it goes even bigger. So what you see in here is this part, this point, the top of the head. So we're going even further and then following the shape of the head. Okay, also what makes it looks off because we don't draw that side, the side of the hair beside the ears. And again, there are lots of overlaps that will actually help while drawing, which is these ones, guys, the overlaps. If I'm going to draw here, so it overlaps like the ears. The ears is not actually shown. Okay, the head is kinda going up like this, and here's like the neck, and that's it. Yeah, there are lots of things that I actually didn't know while drawing, but it took me some time to observe, and I found it like a good way. Observing is a very good way, and again, asking the right questions, why it is there is like why the skull looks like this. It actually, this question is actually so good. Cause for real, when I started drawing portraits, I really didn't know that the head from the side, I just thought that it just looks like this, like kind of flat. And when I knew that there is like a bump right here, it actually clicks, it hits. So when I'm drawing like the hair, it just follows. So I'm drawing like the ears and so on. Again, let's do this way, and the line art will show us how to do it. Sorry, I'm going to draw it like an anime style, so don't be mad at me. hmm Okay, that's how we draw the hair, guys. Okay, any other question before I wrap this stream? Mm, okay, okay. Let's all go to bed. Okay, guys? I hope you had some fun, and thank you so much for sticking in watching how I do stuff, and I hope you have learned like a thing or two. So, see you on another stream. Cool, guys? Take care. Bye, young world. Young world. World.